How's everyone doing today? It's your boy JJ Domination. Before we get started with our playoff game against to be determined, because we really don't know who we're going to be facing, because the Seattle Seahawks got a bye at 13-3. We just want to show you a couple of things. So of course, here's the division. Every team in the division went over 500, so they won 50% or more of their games. That's what that means for people who didn't know that. A very interesting year. Seattle, of course, big overachievers. A lot of teams thought they would be 3-13, nonetheless 13-3. A lot of questions about Pete Carroll and how great of a coach he's going to be. You know, after all this time has passed, no Legion of Boom, how's he going to do? He answers with a 13-3 season. Of course, with impact players like Frank Clark and Earl Thomas who need new contracts. You know, was the money going to be an issue? Like, was it going to get in the way? Were they going to hold out? Or are they just going to give it their all for the franchise? And we got our answers. We're going to view some of the yearly awards. I haven't checked it out yet, but Tom Brady of the 7-9 Patriots wins MVP. My personal opinion, I don't think going 7-9 and missing the playoffs warrants being the MVP, but congratulations anyway. In the NFC, Carson Wentz was the Offensive Player of the Year. As you can see, all of the nominations. We didn't have anyone for Seattle. Not too surprised. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Jake Ryan. That's a huge one. Bobby Wagner just missed the cut. You see the rest of the players right there. A couple of Tampa Bay Buccaneers in there. We already checked out the MVP, so let me go back. The Offensive Rookie of the Year was Saquon Barkley. Rashad Penny just missed out. That would have been a very important upgrade to have him get the Offensive Rookie of the Year. He could have possibly have been in the 82, 83, 84 range by winning the award. Here are the rest of the rookies, of course. Will Dissly rounds it out at 10. Good to see. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Roquan Smith. Well deserving. Hey, look at Shaquem Griffin. He gets in there. Best quarterback goes to Drew Brees, and the disrespect to Russell Wilson. I know he didn't have the greatest season, but when a play needed to be made, he definitely made it. Best running back. Interesting, Rashad Penny was 10th. Best wide receiver, of course, went to Julio Jones. In real life, you can make the argument he is the best receiver in football. Best offensive lineman was David Bakhtiari from the Green Bay Packers. One of the best, if not the best, left tackle in all of football. Best defensive lineman. We didn't get any awards for that, but a couple of Falcons in there. Good to see that. Brandon Graham wins the award. Best linebacker goes to Devondre Campbell. That's huge for the Falcons as well. Bobby Wagner just comes up short in second place, but those are all of the people who won. It's very confusing because Jake Ryan won Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC, but he's only 9th amongst the linebacker award. So that's just very hard to believe. The best defensive back, Aqib Talib, is going to win that one. We don't have any nominations. Best kicker goes to Mason Crosby. Sebastian Janikowski at 3rd. A very interesting award race, but we do have some upgrades to make, believe it or not. We do have a couple. Rashad Penny, he gets 2, but you know, it'd have been nice if he got more, because winning Offensive Rookie of the Year would have definitely done the job. Let's look at his progression history. So he does get a Pro Bowl appearance. When it does come Pro Bowl time, it will definitely showcase the rosters, but we're going to keep him in a scheme fit, which is the elusive back scheme, or the elusive back build, I guess you could say, for Rashad Penny. So there he is right here. And of course, Trey Madden. What a great fullback he's been. And I say that kind of loosely in a way, because fullback has kind of become a position that doesn't have the greatest shelf life. Not all offenses use them, but to be honest, I mean, it's always good to have one, and Trey Madden is arguably one of the best fullbacks in the game. He's starting to increase, and you know, he's starting to get better as well. Let's see, he also gets a Pro Bowl appearance, so there's some Seattle Seahawks repping in this Pro Bowl. Michael Dixon, of course, the Aussie-born punter. He's going to get +3 to awareness. It looks like the ratings will stay the same, but a pretty good punter for sure. He also gets the Pro Bowl appearance. I wonder how many Seattle Seahawks made the Pro Bowl. I assume those 3 if they're the ones that got upgrades. But we're going to do it everything right here. Dion Jordan is going to be able to play again. We're going to simulate one more week, and we're going to find out who we're playing. Here is the playoff schedule. Of course, the wild card. I'll break down all the scenarios real quick for the playoff schedule. So the wild card matchups, we have the Arizona Cardinals and the Atlanta Falcons playing, and the Carolina Panthers playing the Green Bay Packers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the playoff seeding and how it looks, and I'll tell you basically the scenarios and who we would possibly be facing. So here we go. I'm going to go to the NFC. So the Eagles and the Seahawks are the only teams with bye weeks. It's interesting to see a 9-7 team have a bye week. It just goes to show you that the NFC, I'm not going to say it's weak, but everybody just kind of beat up on each other. No one really stood out other than us. But the Falcons are the 3 seed. They're playing the Cardinals. So if the Cardinals upset the Falcons, we would get a 3rd matchup against Arizona. The Carolina Panthers are hosting the Packers. So if the Falcons win against Arizona, regardless of who wins this matchup, we would get to face them in Seattle. Green Bay has had some bad luck in Seattle. They've lost a couple of big games there in the postseason. Carolina would be an interesting one, definitely, because we faced them this year and lost to them. So that's definitely not a good look. That's a team we got to avoid because we lost to them. The other 2 teams we lost to didn't even make the playoffs, so I kind of feel comfortable with facing anybody, to be honest. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way, but I'm saying based on how the seasons went, I feel pretty comfortable facing anyone. So we're going to see who we're facing, and then we'll cut to some gameplay. So here we go. We're going to advance the next week. I believe Frank Clark should be healthy and ready to go as well as we get Dion Jordan back. And we're facing the Green Bay Packers. So they ended up getting the job done at home. Green Bay, we get to face them again. Let's look at the entire playoff schedule, though. Let's go here. And let's look at last week. So Kansas City goes to Pittsburgh and they get the victory. The Falcons, they edge out a game against the Arizona Cardinals. The Oakland Raiders, they beat the Miami Dolphins in a low-scoring affair. And the Packers do just enough to beat the Carolina Panthers. Pretty cool to see all the games were at least 1 possession. No blowouts, nothing too crazy. But in the divisional round, the Houston Texans will get the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the Packers Seahawks, that's going to be a Saturday night game on Fox. The Raiders and Chargers will kick things off on Sunday, and then the Falcons Eagles, that'll be a huge game as well. I'm gonna just for fun just kind of predict the rest of the games. I'm thinking the Texans will beat the Chiefs. The Texans were a really good team this year. I believe they were only a game worse than us in the standings. Raiders Chargers, I believe they split the season series. I'll go with the Raiders in an upset, actually. And I think the Falcons can get it done against the Eagles. They're really not separated by much except for the week 1 loss that Atlanta suffered to Philly. But if Atlanta would have beaten them, guess what? They would have had home field advantage until they face Seattle. But we're going to hop into this game and we'll see you then. What we're doing today, and we are back with the Seattle Seahawks Realistic Connected Franchise Mode. We are going to be playing our divisional round matchup against a familiar face, the Green Bay Packers, who we faced on a Thursday night game and defeated in our building. Will Green Bay get their revenge, or will Seattle repeat the success they had against the Green Bay Packers? Familiar sight. We are in the home of the 12th man for this game, and it feels great to have home field advantage. That's all I could really say. The Packers, they come in here after beating the Carolina Panthers in a wild card matchup. Meanwhile, Seattle is well rested. Dion Jordan and Frank Clark are returning from injury, which is very important. I believe they're going to be plugged back into the lineup. I honestly didn't check that, but I hope they are. If not, I'll have to pause it and manually do it. But here's what the divisional round is looking like. Packers, Seahawks, and Falcons, Eagles. Some familiar faces in there, all upper echelon teams in the NFL when at full strength. It looks like the Green Bay Packers will receive the ball first, so the number one total defense in the NFL will get a look at Aaron Rodgers. You see the Houston Texans handled the Kansas City Chiefs 38-17. They have punched their ticket to the AFC Championship. Meanwhile, Dez Bryant looks to get something going here. I almost forgot they even had him as a wide receiver 3 on this team. Aaron Rodgers getting ready to come out. Oakland and LA got to play tomorrow, and yes, Frank Clark and Deion Jordan both back in their appropriate spots. Aaron Rodgers on the center for this play. Jamal Williams in the backfield. Cobb is in motion. Rodgers, he's going to dump it off to Cobb, and he's met by Bobby Wagner in a hurry. 4 yards for the veteran Cobb. Here we go. Let's take a look at the Green Bay Packers offensive line. The best offensive lineman of the year, according to the NFL, David Bakhtiari, leads that group. And Davante Adams comes in this game with over 1,100 yards on the regular season. Here we go, guys. 2nd and 6. Aaron Jones is now in the backfield. They like a 2 running back system here with Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, so keep your eyes peeled. They throw it across the middle to Jimmy Graham, the former Seahawk, and he's going to move the chains. Another tackle from Bobby Wagner. I mean, those dink and dunk passes, I mean, you can only do it for so long. We'll see what Rodgers does in the pistol look. Looks like a handoff to Jamal Williams. He finds a little crease, gets stuck, and Earl Thomas comes down and cleans things up. So Earl Thomas and Wagner getting involved early. Here's a look at the defense. Frank Clark and Deion Jordan are returning for the first time in a while. Bobby Wagner, the man in the middle. And of course, Earl Thomas and strong safety Tedrick Thompson has officially replaced Maurice Alexander. He played so well in the absence, or not in the absence, but when he was benched, he just played well. Decided to ride with the hot hand. Rodgers, 2nd and 10. Adams running deep, but Cobb ends up catching it. Looks like his momentum brought him back, and Corey Linsley is hurt for the Packers. Their starting center. That's a bad sight already. 3rd and 3 now. Here we go. Rodgers and company under center. Looks like a handoff to Jamal Williams, and Tedrick Thompson's going to clean it up. No gain for Jamal Williams. Good job taking care of things. Cobb kind of costed them on that drive because his momentum carried him back. J.K. Scott, of course, with the punt. It'll be a touchback. Russell Wilson has not played in a couple of weeks. It's been the Austin Davis show, so we'll see what Russell Wilson can do on this first drive. Of course, the Packers defense under new defensive coordinator Mike Pettin. And there's Rashad Penny, who almost gets the first down. He's brought down by Clay Matthews. The cool thing about Clay Matthews is he has experience as a pass rusher and a middle linebacker. So that versatility may come in handy for Green Bay today and what's going to be a tough battle. 2nd and 1, Chris Carson's in the game, and Carson runs up the middle, and he gets a gain of 9. It's really good to just turn around and give the ball to a guy like Chris Carson. Very strong, powerful, has good leverage on every carry. This Green Bay defensive line has some dudes on it too, man. They got Mike Daniels, Kenny Clark, Muhammad Wilkerson. There are no scrubs on that defensive line as Mike Daniels brings down J.D. McKissick. 3 plays, 3 running backs, all getting involved. Here's the Seattle offensive line. Justin Britt is the man in the middle at center. And of course, Rashad Penny, who was 2nd and Rookie of the Year for the NFC. McKissick is going to remain in the backfield. They're going to turn around and hand it to him, and here's McKissick, who makes a man miss, but he's brought down by Tramon Williams. Williams, of course, a former Green Bay Packer who ended up returning after a 3-year stay with both Cleveland and Arizona. Here we go, 1st and 10 now for Seattle. They're going to go with the counter run. What a hit from Jake Ryan. It's a loss of 1. Jake Ryan, of course, won linebacker of the year. A little award there for the guy from Michigan. Wilson now, play action. Gonna dump it off to Penny, and shoestring tackle from Clay Matthews. Matthews normally not the greatest at those shoestring tackles, but he makes up for it that time. 3rd and 4 now, Clay Matthews. Nice tackle right there. And there's Russell Wilson going to Tyler Lockett, and he is going to be brought down quickly. Covered on the play by Tramon Williams, and Russell Wilson now a perfect 3 of 3. They're going to mark him for 22 right there. Tyler Lockett, big catch for him. Carson is in the backfield. They're going to turn around and give it to him, and he's trying to find the hole, and he gets about 4 yards right there. He was just kind of stuck. But now that we're in the red zone, here's a look at the Packers defense. The man in the middle, Kenny Clark, a young stud at defensive tackle. Blake Martinez continues to get better for the Green Bay Packers. And of course, Jair Alexander, the young corner from Louisville. 2nd and 6 now. Russell Wilson gonna throw it. Oh, almost picked off right there, but good thinking that they were trying to look for Ed Dixon. 3rd and 6 now for Seattle. You've come this far in field goal range. You hope to get something. Here's Russell Wilson. He's gonna scramble out, and he's gonna take the slide right there. A gain of 9 for Russell Wilson. It's a good idea from Russell Wilson. Just get some free yards while you can. This has been a slow, methodical drive as well. They've been milking a lot of clock in this one. Carson now coming back into the game, and well, he gets 2 yards right there. Mike Daniels and Kevin King on the tackle. Kevin King, of course, a Washington native. He played his college ball at the University of Washington, so in a way it feels like a homecoming for him. Russell Wilson now with the give to McKissick, and he gets uplifted by Kenny Clark. Clark with a big tackle right there. Now it's 3rd and goal. You only have so many options you can go with. Rashad Penny now is going to be in the backfield. Here we go, 3rd and goal. Vannon almost makes a big catch in the back of the end zone, but Kentrell Bryce is going to knock it away. Now Sebastian Janikowski going to work his way out here. Kick is up, and the kick is good from 23 yards away. Most of the time in the NFL, if you score first in a playoff game, you're going to win. Like I said, most of the time, so we'll have to see. But Seattle now, they're going to go ahead and kick this off to Aaron Rodgers and company, the Green Bay Packers. But here's Des Bryant on the return. He's going to get tackled by the fullback Trey Madden, who is going to end up making the Pro Bowl. Him, Rashad Penny, and Michael Dixon, from what I know. More information about the Pro Bowl will come throughout the coming weeks. Here we go, Aaron Rodgers, a stretch run to Jamal Williams, and Bobby Wagner is there to meet him. Wagner has been all over the field in this one. Wagner, the middleman for the Seahawks defense. Aaron Jones now in the backfield. Aaron Rodgers, shotgun. Throw to Graham, but it's knocked away by Barkevius Mingo. Looking for Jimmy Graham right there. And here we go now. Weak formation. Rodgers gonna look to throw it. And a big hit from Earl Thomas is gonna force it out of Devontae Adams' hands. He beat that corner off of the jam pretty quickly. But Earl Thomas making up enough ground to just be able to make the play. J.K. Scott now gonna kick it back deep to Lockett. Lockett, room to receive it. Tyler Lockett is going to run up the field, and he is brought down at the 40 as we enter the second quarter. The momentum seems to be going in Seattle's direction, but you don't want to speak too prematurely. Russell Wilson now coming out with the I formation here. Trey Madden. Good penetration from Daniels. Nowhere to go for Rashad Penny. It looked like an opening. It looked promising for just a moment, but didn't necessarily work out there. McKissick now enters the game. Brandon Marshall now in motion. And Russell Wilson down the seam to Ed Dixon. And Jake Ryan, it looked like tried to strip the football. Let's see what happened. Well, we thought Jake Ryan was going for the football. He ends up going for the face mask instead. A big play right there from Seattle. A much needed play too. I mean, what a huge play from Ed Dixon. Who, keep in mind, week 17 was the most recent he played. Of course, he was coming off an injury. Carson with a big fumble. He gets uplifted. Clay Matthews with the fumble recovery. Blake Martinez with the hit. And just like that, I mean, things are changing. Chris Carson, that was not a turnover that needed to be made right there. Aaron Rodgers now under center. He's going to turn around. Ooh, it's a play action. And there's a safety by Jaron Reed. Corey Linsley gives up the pressure. So here we go. Seattle fumbles and they get a safety. And now the Seattle Seahawks are going to get the ball at the 40. I mean, this game has been bizarre. I mean, you have a fumble by Chris Carson in the red zone. Then you get a safety on Aaron Rodgers. Then the kick goes out of bounds to the 40, and now Rashad Penny's in the backfield. He's going to get the handoff, and a big hit from Jake Ryan. He hangs on to it, though. And now it's 2nd and 9. Seattle has 5 points on the board. Okay, 5 points. This game has been wildly entertaining, to say the least. It was kind of stale, kind of a slow burn, but things have definitely picked up. And a big hit from Clay Matthews, and the hits are coming. Lockett was kind of set up by that one because of the throw, but very interesting. 3rd down right here. Gifted good field position. Can you make it work? And it looks like he will, as Ed Dixon's trying to move ahead, but he only gets to the 28. A good play right there from Ed Dixon, who, of course, came off the injury. Week 17, he got some action, got his feet going, made some plays, and in this game, he is going to have to do pretty much the same, just make some plays. Penny's going to get the football, and Nick Perry brings him down for what looks like no gain. Hasn't been a great game for Rashad Penny running the football. Lockett, the motion man, and Nick Perry is just there again, and McKissick only gains like a yard, probably no gain. Third and 10. I mean, there's only so much you can do in that situation. Third and 10 now for Seattle. Wilson gonna read the second level of the defense, and he finds Tyler Lockett again. Another big catch for him. And it looks like that's gonna be the matchup. Tyler Lockett against Tramon Williams. Both times, I mean, that's who was covering him. Chris Carson's in the game. He's gonna have to hang on to the football. He loses a yard, but he hangs on to it. I guess that's a plus. Here we go now. Russell Wilson gonna motion Tyler Lockett. And Lockett tries to make a move, but he only gets 5 right there. Tramon Williams brings him down in a hurry. Now it's 3rd and 5 at the 6. Seattle with 5 points on the board. They would like to make it, well, 12 points, I guess. And what a touchdown for Russell Wilson. He just kind of sneaked past Jake Ryan right there. Ryan could have just stopped his momentum completely. With the extra point now, it'll be 12-0. A pretty crazy game to start things off. And now it is 12-0 Seattle. I mean, what a crazy game it's been so far. You have the safety, of course, the fumble in the red zone. The kick goes out of bounds, and on that play, Russell Wilson just runs it in. Jake Ryan could have easily made a play, but it looked like he took a bad angle or turned the wrong direction or something. Here we go. Now it looks like a play action pass. And what a bat down from Earl Thomas. He was looking for the big play to Devontae Adams. And let me tell you, it almost worked. It almost worked. Here we go, another pistol formation for Rodgers. He's going to turn around and give it to Jamal Williams. He is brought down by Wagner. And now Jamal Williams has -3 rushing yards on today's game. And here we go. It's 3rd and 11. And what a pass to Cobb, and Bobby Wagner almost broke it up. You hate to see a linebacker on a receiver, but Wagner played that well. Almost deflected the ball away as well. Wagner did a good job there. And here we go, Rodgers now looking to throw it. He finds Adams on the play action. And he is going to be brought down by... Is that Deion Jordan in coverage on that play? It was a zone blitz, so you never really know who's going to cover in that situation. Another first down, and Aaron Jones now is in the backfield. Rodgers going to turn around and hand it off to Jones, and he gets a couple. And the 2-minute warning is here. Second and 8 right here for the Packers. Rodgers again in that pistol formation. He's become very comfortable with over the years. Ever since suffering his first knee injury, and it's a fumble. And barely Jamal Williams gets it. David Bakhtiari had a chance to get it, and he muffed it. 3rd and 17 right here. Green Bay with the timeout. Rodgers, it looks like he's just going to turn around and give it to Jamal Williams, and Corey Linsley again gets hurt. Seattle was going to call a timeout, but An injury timeout inside of 2 minutes will cause you to lose the timeout. Lockett back to receive. I don't think he is going to receive it. Bad call from Tyler Lockett. And this ball is down at the 3-yard line. Lockett should have possibly have taken that. I mean, it's risky, but you should have just looked into it. They're going to give it to Rashad Penny. And Penny's going to get some yardage. He's going to get out of that part of the field. Ed Dixon now. They're going to get him going, it looks like. Wilson hit as he throws and makes a big play right there. Going up against Kevin King right there was Doug Baldwin. Russell Wilson. He's going to throw it to Doug Baldwin. And what a play. Gets those guys to midfield. Russell Wilson just doing whatever it is he needs to do. Throwing some good passes today, it looks like. Amar Darboh now in the game. Looks like he is coming in for Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett. There's McKissick. He's going to pick up a gain of 8, and they're going to call a timeout. 43 seconds to work with for the Seattle Seahawks. Baldwin and Lockett now back in the game. Darboh and Brown had to come in for him. Wilson takes the sack, and it's 3rd down. Not a sack they wanted to take. And Wilson now, he's just going to run. And with 21 seconds, they call a timeout. Seattle is in field goal range, but of course, they can get a little ambitious if they want and go for the touchdown. Wouldn't be a terrible idea, but you just got to be protective of the football. Wilson. Touchdown to Brandon Marshall just as we were calling it. Good coverage by Jair Alexander, just couldn't get there in time. And Brandon Marshall going to allow everyone to eat. I don't know if people saw this, but when Russell Wilson rolled out, he immediately stopped, planted his feet, and threw a beautiful pass right there. It's a well-thrown football. He finds Brandon Marshall. And now this will make it 19-0. The Packers, what is going on with them? It has been a rough go-around for them. And now they're going to look to kick this thing off. 14 seconds left for Rodgers if they want to do anything. Marquez Valdes-Scantling back to receive, and they're not going to bring it out. Well, what a bizarre game this has been for both sides, like we mentioned. Three receivers, and it's a strong set. They're going to give it to Jamal Williams. He is brought down by Tedrick Thompson. The timeout is called. A gain of 4 right there from Jamal Williams. And everyone's playing a little farther back, just in case Rodgers has something up his sleeve. Oh, and that looks like it was caught, but it looks like there's a flag on the play. Beautiful catch. Oh, yes, the illegal touching Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb, I mean, it was a great catch, but he went out of bounds. And now the Mr. Hail Mary is going to try a Hail Mary. You see everyone's going back as far as they can. Rodgers throws it quickly, and it's a picked off pass from Tedrick Thompson. Look at the pitch to Earl Thomas, but he's brought down by Jamal Williams. Oh man, Seattle tried to get creative right there with the pitch from Tedrick Thompson to Earl Thomas, but Jamal Williams just ruining the fun. 19-0, and you want to know something? Seattle gets the ball to start the second half. This can get ugly in a hurry. J.D. McKissic's going to receive it, and he is going to bring it out. He goes through the spin cycle right there, only gets to the 27. A score right here will probably do it, though, to be honest. Green Bay, it's been a tough game for them. The Seattle defense has just been really good. They're giving up the short stuff, but you're not going to make a big play on them. Wilson now fakes it to Lockett. Penny couldn't catch it cleanly, but DJ Fluker goes down with an injury, it looks like. You hate to see anyone get injured in the game. Green Bay's already had a couple of nagging injuries. You hate to see it happen to anyone in this big stage, in this big environment. McKissic gonna set the edge, makes Kentrell Bryce miss, makes a few guys miss, but he is brought down quickly by Jake Ryan. It's a great run by J.D. McKissic. Here we go. McKissic's gonna stay in the backfield. Wilson gonna throw it to Doug Baldwin. A great placed football right there. And it looks like the rest for Russell Wilson, those 3 weeks off, it looks like that's what he needed, because he has come out here and he's firing some great passes. 75% completion percentage for him. Russell Wilson now with the give to Rashad Penny, and he is going to get about 3 yards on the play. 2 yards, actually, excuse me. The Seattle Seahawks, though, it has been the perfect storm. I mean, they did fumble in the red zone, but aside from that, man, I mean, it's just been the perfect storm for them. And here comes Doug Baldwin. The block is picked up by McKissic, and Baldwin gets about 10 yards off the catch. Smart play right there, too. Baldwin made the right read. But here we go, 1st and 10, 24 yards away from the end zone. Oh, and it's a fumble, but DJ Fluker picks it up. What a play from Kenny Clark. Good play from Kenny Clark, though. I mean, he was in the right place, and he made the big hit, but no one was there to recover. And Doug Baldwin's going to get the ball. Nick Perry was lined up on him. And, yeah, I mean, if you got a linebacker on a receiver, take the matchup. 3rd and 12 now. They still got a ways to go, but if they play it safe, they could come away with a field goal. Wilson now. Gonna throw it. Josh Jones well defended. And Mike Daniels looks like he's hurt now. Well defended by Josh Jones. I think if he turns around, he can make the pick on that play, but Janikowski gonna trot on there for the 43-yarder, and it's good. It's 22-0 Seattle. It has been a big game for the Seattle Seahawks. And you wonder, I mean, Green Bay just needs some form of momentum. They're not completely out of it, but they need some sort of momentum. They need to build off of something. But the Seattle Seahawks, they're not allowing any big plays. Earl Thomas has been playing great. Tedrick Thompson's having himself a game. 1st and 10 for Rodgers. What a play. Nice little pitch and catch right there to Cobb. Griffin's been playing a pretty solid game too, so can't complain. He's played well so far in this one. He did allow the catch right there, but He's been playing tight coverage today. It's good to see him bounce back. Jamal Williams now brought down quickly. Gain of 5 for Jamal. Devontae Adams lined up in the slot for this play. Rodgers. Shotgun formation, and the give is to Aaron Jones. And he is brought down by Barkevious Mingo. Aaron Jones provides that little bit of a spark in the run game, whereas Jamal Williams is a downhill bruiser. Two different running styles for Green Bay. As we see Jamal Williams back into the game, they just turn around and hand it off to him. He's going to be brought down after a few yards. They mark him for 5. Green Bay creating a little momentum on this drive. 41 yards away from the end zone. 2nd and 5, Rodgers is going to take the hike. He throws it to Dez Bryant a little low, but he catches it. Wagner with the tackle. Good play from Dez Bryant to adjust to the football. And it's a run for Jamal Williams. As you saw, Seattle stacked the box right there. They must have had a feeling it was coming. Gain of 5 for Jamal Williams, the all-time leading rusher for BYU coming out of college. Brigham Young University. Play action for Rodgers. An underneath pass for not Devontae, Dez Bryant, I should say. And good catch. 2 catches on the drive for Dez Bryant. 2 catches in the game for Dez Bryant. 1st and 10. Aaron Jones is back there. A quick throw to Jimmy Graham. I guess there was busted coverage. No one was on him. And now it's 1st and goal. Jimmy Graham ran a simple flat route, and I guess nobody accounted for him. And he was able to just get what he wanted right there. And a nice little corner pass, but they're going to say it's incomplete. I thought Dez Bryant caught it. You hate to see that for Green Bay, but I thought Dez Bryant caught it for sure. Rodgers now. Going to throw it in the back of the end zone for Cobb, and what a one-handed catch he makes. And this is what Green Bay needed right here. And they're going to go for 2 on this touchdown. Here we go. Green Bay going to throw the football, and Cobb is going to catch the 2-point conversion. And now it's only a 14-point game. Very risky for them to go for 2 after the first touchdown, because if they don't get it, they would have to convert 2 straight 2-point conversions if they were able to score 2 more touchdowns. So very risky what they just did, but it paid off as J.D. McKissic brings it out to the 24-yard line. If I'm Seattle, man, I'm just going to milk the clock. I'm going to just try to run this game out. Here we go. 1st and 10. Rashad Penny's back there, and he's going to get the carry. He's going to get about 3 yards. 2 yards, actually. They'll mark him for 2. It's been a good game for Russell Wilson. That's for sure. Tyler Lockett's been involved a lot in the passing game. Doug Baldwin, I think that's his 5th catch. That's probably going to end the third quarter, depending on if they can run another play. They are going to run another play. And they try to sneak throw it to Rashad Penny. What I call a sneak throw is just fitting it into a tight spiral while a defender's trying to rush you. 4th and inches. I mean, they could go for it, but I guess elect not to. Michael Dixon now, the Aussie-born punter, the first time we've seen him today. He's going to punt this ball to Randall Cobb. Cobb, who has experience as a return man, he is brought down quickly by Alex Carter. Not what the Seattle Seahawks wanted. I mean, they could have went for it, but decided against it. Is that decision going to cost them? And there's Cobb. They had a couple of seam routes open, but they go with Randall Cobb there. They decide to go underneath. Good catch from Randall Cobb. He has been a busy man this second half. The touchdown, the 2-point conversion, all went to Cobb, and he's been working in the second half. The Packers, of course, they have an opportunity to make something happen. And there's Aaron Jones. He gets the first down. Earl Thomas bringing him down for a gain of 11. KJ Wright was hurt with a bruised shoulder. He will be able to return, but we're going to throw Shaquem Griffin in there. Well, we'll see if he gets to come in anyway. Rodgers. Shotgun, a draw play for Aaron Jones. He is brought down by Jaron Reed, who has been pretty solid in today's game as well. Jaron Reed, of course, got the safety on Aaron Rodgers. Been pretty active in the run defense as well. Rodgers now, shotgun. Another draw play to Jones. This time Jones gains a lot of ground. Kind of slips off a defender and just keeps going. You see on the run, he just kind of slips off of a couple of guys and just continues to run. Third and 2. And Devontae able to make a play out of that one. Tedrick Thompson just missed a tackle. Just came up a little short right there. Green Bay, though, the clock is not your friend. I would hurry up if I were the Packers and try to get in the end zone. Pistol formation for Rodgers. Jamal Williams is in the game. They're going to throw it. And they are going to throw it to Devontae Adams. And depending on the penalty, Green Bay's first and goal. And it's going to be holding on the offense. The backup center, Dylan Kay, filling in for Corey Lindsley, gets marked with a penalty. And instead of first and goal at like the 5 or 4 yard line, it's first and 20 at the 36. The Packers going back to a man coverage, or the Seahawks going back to a man coverage look, and Nazir Jones with the sack. So you just went from being at the 4 yard line to the 44 yard line in the span of 2 plays. Good sack right there from Nazir Jones. Cobb in the slot, Rodgers under center. He's going to turn around and give it to Jamal Williams on a delayed handoff. Williams does a good job getting some yardage, and now it'll be 3rd and 15. Jamal Williams did basically what he could have done right there. He gets 13 yards on the run. Adams and Graham are going to be in the slot. Rodgers, shotgun formation. Coleman didn't turn around, or else that could have possibly been picked. Good catch from Jimmy Graham, though, his 3rd of the game. Mercedes Lewis, the second tight end, is going to be in the game here. Jamal Williams in the backfield. Rodgers looking for somewhere to go, and he goes to Jamal Williams, and Jamal goes flying. Good catch, but Bobby Wagner just hits him. Just knocks him out of the way. Rodgers now, it looks like a draw play to Jamal, and another hit from Bobby Wagner. He has been all over the place today. 3rd and 2 now, or 3rd and goal at the 3, I should say, excuse me. And it's somebody jumped. Let's see who it was. And it's a false start on the offense. Lane Taylor was the guilty man. Third and goal at the 8. Jamal Williams is in the backfield. 2 tight ends set again. Rodgers looking to throw. He throws a fade route to Cobb. 3 guys were in the area. Coleman, Shaquille Griffin, and Bobby Wagner. Now it's 4th and goal. 3 minutes to go. Here we go, 4th and goal. Oh, and Des Bryant couldn't catch it. Good coverage by Shaquille Griffin, who has stepped up big time. First and 10 at the 8-yard line. Rashad Penny now going to get the carry. He's going to get about 8 yards, excuse me. He's going to get 4 yards, 5 yards. 2.5 minutes to go. And Green Bay, what a fight they put up though. Nice drive from Cobb and Rodgers, and then they almost score there. Carson gonna get down to the 16. It's 3rd and 2. 2-minute warning, so the Packers don't have to use a timeout. They were patient about it. Let's see if their patience will pay off. It's 3rd and 2 now. And McKissick trying to power ahead, but he's not going to get there. Seattle coming up short and another timeout. Because basically the 2-minute warning is kind of like a timeout. The 4th timeout for a team that needs it. And now they're going to punt it. Cobb back to receive it at the 29-yard line. And he is brought down by Justin Coleman. So Rodgers gets good starting field position. Jamal Williams has been running the ball pretty good, as you can see by the stat line. And here is Hedrick Thompson, the deep safety. They throw it underneath to Graham. He's brought down by Dante Johnson. Rodgers now sticking with the 5-wide set. Rodgers gonna throw it underneath to Graham. Graham slips a tackle. Graham gets out of bounds. What a smart play. 3rd and 3 now. Aaron Rodgers, it's 3rd and 3. They're going to throw it across the middle to Des Bryant, who gets down at the 45. First and 10 now for the Packers. They're going to throw it deep. Dante Johnson can't make it. He can't make the play happen, and Frank Clark is hurt, which will now force Seattle to use a timeout. Dante Johnson, great positioning, just could not turn around and make the play. Rodgers now looking to throw this bad boy. He throws it to Aaron Jones, who he's going to be brought down at the 4-yard line. Here we go, bunch formation now. Packers. Rodgers going to throw, and Cobb again with the touchdown. Right across the middle of the field. I mean, the Packers right here. Let's see the extra point. Very important one. Crosby. He's going to make it. Now you have to recover the extra point. Frank Clark with the injury. He's going to miss the rest of this game. A foot fracture. And Brandon Marshall is able to lay down on the onside kick. You just got to run the clock out for a first down. Couple of options right here. If they get pretty close to field goal range, you could try a field goal. But let's not talk field goals. Let's talk first downs, and they almost picked it up. Yeah, they almost picked it up second and inches. A very big run from Rashad Penny. 41 seconds to go. The Packers just called a timeout. They're second. And Carson's going to get across the line, and that's going to do it. The Packers were pretty close to winning this game. That is going to do it, though. Great game from the Packers. Randall Cobb with a pair of touchdowns. He also had the 2-point conversion. But that's going to do it. I mean, the Seahawks came out to make some plays. It was a great game overall. Very exciting divisional round matchup between the Packers and the Seahawks. It's always a good matchup when you get Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Like we said, we're just going to let the clock melt out. It's the divisional round. We don't want to force anything silly. But the Seahawks win 22-15, and they'll face the winners of the Falcons versus Eagles as the Seattle Seahawks are on to the NFC Championship. What a game from the Seattle Seahawks. A bunch of great plays throughout the game. A very strange start to the game. The Packers rallied throughout the third and fourth quarter, but the rally just wasn't enough as Seattle did everything necessary to hold this team off from doing anything spectacular. The Seahawks dominated the ground and were pretty solid throughout the air as well. One takeaway from each team is the Carson fumble happened in the red zone, and Rodgers threw a Hail Mary interception. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you for the NFC Championship. Unfortunately, with wins there comes a loss, and Frank Clark is going to be out for 9 weeks with a foot fracture. He got injured in the game with like 48 seconds left to go, and Frank Clark now, he is going to be placed on IR, out for the rest of the season. He'll be out for 9 weeks. As for Byron Maxwell, this is all I'm going to say. We have of course, the NFC Championship, the Pro Bowl, and the Super Bowl. He won't even be able to play in any of those, so we're going to go ahead and place him on IR too. When you do the math, when you add it up, neither man will be able to play. It's very sad to see, but we will see the future of both men in the coming off season. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you around for the next one.